Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Meal Solutions virtual class. My name is Joni Rampolla, one of the registered licensed dietitians with your Giant and Martin's. And today we are going to make a Mediterranean style salmon bowl, which sounds so delightful. I'm really excited for it. Why is this not advancing? There we go. So it's called Mediterranean style. What does that mean? Like, what is Mediterranean? Obviously, it's the region around the Mediterranean Sea where people tend to have less heart disease, be healthier. So what does their food look like? Their food is characterized by fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and beans. Olive oil is a main staple of what they do, fish and lean protein, and it also features a variety of herbs and spices instead of salt that enhance the flavor of the food. So today we are going to be making a Mediterranean style salmon bowl, which is a cut up piece of salmon over rice with spinach and olives. And if you see, this recipe takes 40 minutes. So I've condensed time significantly and done some of the prep ahead of time so we can be finished. This recipe also earns 3 guiding stars. So if you're new and not sure what guiding stars is, and I do want to say for a recipe to earn 3 guiding stars is rare. That doesn't happen all the time. So when I find one that does, I'm really excited about it. So guiding stars is our nutritional navigation system to help you quickly find foods that are better for you. So it's on products that are in our store or on Savory, whether it's a magazine in store or Savory online on our website. If you go to the recipe tab of our website, you can find Savory there. So what I like to show is the little price tag. If you look at the price tag that's on our shelf here in this picture, to the right of the price, you see a blue bar going down. At the top of that bar is a green apple. And then below that bar would be stars. That's where you actually see the guiding stars in the store. It's to the right of the price. Sometimes I feel like we miss it. So 1 star is good, 2 stars is better, and 3 stars is the best nutritional value in that category of product. So what helps things earn stars? So if they have more of what your body wants, so more vitamins, minerals, fiber, whole grains, or omega-3 fatty acids, and they have less of things that are not beneficial for our health, like saturated fat, trans fat, added sodium, added sugar, and artificial color. So this recipe does have a little bit of sodium in it because we're using olives, but all the other healthy properties, it has lots of vitamins and minerals and fiber and whole grains and omega-3s. It has a lot of great things. So it does earn 3 guiding stars in that algorithm. So what is actually in our salmon? We have salmon, we have garlic, we have olive oil. So we're using actually the brine from olives, and that's the salty part, the brine from olives, a microwave in a bag, jasmine rice, some Kalamata pitted olives, and I chopped them ahead of time, and then just a bag of baby spinach or half a bag of baby spinach. So we're going to preheat our oven. My oven right now is preheated. Then you line your baking sheet with parchment paper, remove the skin from the salmon, and cut the salmon into 2-inch chunks. Add to your bowl, season with salt and pepper if you'd like, or just pepper. Then to a blender or a food processor, we're going to add the garlic, the oil, the brine to make the marinade. Mix that up and marinate for 15 minutes. And then we're going to spread our salmon out on our parchment paper, bake it for 8 or 9 minutes. So while that's baking, I'll probably bring up the PowerPoint again go through some more stuff because 9 minutes is a long time. Then set the oven to broil and broil for an extra 3 or 4 minutes. And then we'll remove the salmon, toss it a little bit to get all that good marinade on it. Microwave our rice, put the rice in a bowl. We're going to add our fresh spinach to the bowl and it'll wilt down with the heat of the rice, add the olives, and top with salmon. And that is what we are making today. So I'm going to stop sharing at the moment and we are going to get cooking. Yay. It's so easy to make. And I love things that are super easy. So I'm sitting in a chair, probably going to have to stand up sometime. But yes, my oven is already heated. I have my baking pan that just has parchment paper on it, already lined. And then next to me, I have my blender, and I'm going to use just my personal cup to fill while we make the marinade. So in this, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of oil. I have mine already measured out. I'm going to put it in there. But I do want to talk about the ingredients a little. I know if you follow me, you probably heard this 100 times already. But yes, on a lot of bottles of olive oil, not just our brand, it says first cold pressed. Just want to explain what that actually means because a lot of people don't know. So olive oil, no matter what kind of olive oil it is the right mix of fat for your heart. All olive oil is great for your heart. Have any olive oil, you've made a wonderful choice. Good for you. But the first cold press, they take the olives and they press them. That's called the first cold press. And in that first cold press is the most, what I'll call nutrient dense oil. It maintains a lot of the antioxidant polyphenols, omega-3s. It has a lot of good stuff in it. And then they take the olive mash after they collected the first batch of oil, and that the first batch is the first cold press. And then with that olive mash, as I'll call it, they either chemically treat it or heat it to get out additional olive oil. And that olive oil is still great for your heart, wonderful to use, but this one is the most nutrient dense. And I will say, I don't expect anybody to get the majority of their nutrients from oil because you want to have, a rational amount of oil, not too much. But I like using this one because it is so nutrient dense. But yes, I see in the chat avocado oil also. So they are my two go-to, olive oil and avocado oil. Yes. So we put our olive oil in here and it says add 4 cloves of garlic. So my cloves were really big. So I kind of just cut them in fours. So it looks like I have much more than 4 here, but mine were just so giant cloves, like that one I cut in half. They're really big. But there's my 4, so it's going to be garlicky. I'm going to put those in. And then the recipe calls for chopped, pitted Kalamata olives. So I bought my olives, and these are going to go in the salad. I already chopped the top half, how much the recipe calls for. But then it also uses the brine. So the brine is the liquid that the olives sit in. So I already measured out my liquid. These are kind of dry olives. I don't know what happens to them once they're dry. I figure I probably have to use them at dinner tonight. So I have my olive oil, my brine, and my garlic. And that is what we're going to mix to make the marinade that the salmon will sit in. So I have my mixer right here, but I'm going to turn off my sound because nobody wants to hear my mixer going. That's really not a pretty sound. So you're going to be silent for a minute, but that's okay. Perfect. It's done. And just makes a nice little liquid. And I'm going to take a bowl and just pour this in the bowl. And I see there's a comment about olive oil. And yes, you have to know where your olive oil comes from. Sometimes you'll see it coming from several different places. And there was a story way back when of looking at olive oil and they were mixing in other oils into it. That is true. But usually the one place of origin is always good olive oil. It comes from a grove. Yes, so yes, my blender does. I push the right setting and it blends and stops when it's totally blended. I don't have to look at it. It's kind of cool. It's a ninja. Yes. Yep. Good to know. Olive oil blends are less expensive. Yes. Yep. And some of them list other oils. Absolutely. Okay. So here is my olive oil. And then I bought just frozen salmon. And I defrosted it. And when you defrost it, so if you buy one like this in a package, it comes individually wrapped in plastic. And they recommend that you take it out of the plastic, even if you stick it in a plastic bag afterwards to defrost, but don't defrost it in the plastic that it's wrapped in. And then defrost it either on, I sometimes put mine on a plate and wrap it with plastic wrap or put it in a different plastic bag. What about the Giant brand olive oil? Oh, yeah. So I just showed you how ours is that first cold pressed. Yes. And a good olive oil. And the only ingredient is extra virgin olive oil. And that's the way it should be. It's a good oil. So I took my salmon, I removed the skin, and I cut it into about 2-inch little chunks. So that's what it's darker on the backside, but that's not skin. The skin is removed. And then I'm just going to put it in the marinade, mix it and toss it. And I'm making a mess here. And then this sits for about 15 minutes. So I don't have that 15 minutes. Look at that. It's done marinating. I love when that happens. So in just 1 minute, you can make time go by a little bit faster. So then I'm going to spread my marinade onto the sheet pan, or my salmon in the marinade onto the sheet pan. And so what it says is include the marinade in it. So I'm not just taking out the chunks of salmon like I would think I would. It says put the entire marinade onto your sheet pan. So I'm just spreading them out, putting them on the sheet pan here. And you know, when you have a salmon fillet, some are thick and some are a little bit thinner. So my chunks aren't totally even. I wish they were, but you know, the little ends that are thinner are like thin little pieces, and then some are chunkier, but generally they're about the same. Try and get them as uniform as possible, and I'll show you my sheet pan as soon as I line these all up. And then I'm just going to pour the rest of the marinade on top of them because it says to do that, even though that sounds a little crazy to me. And then it's just the salmon lined up with the marinade right there in my sheet pan. And I'm just going to pop this in the oven. And put on my timer. and I put it on for 8 minutes, even though it says 8 to 9 minutes. So we'll see if it's done at 8 minutes. I'll check on it. But while we're doing that, I am going to share my screen again. Oh, wait, I see I have a question. What's the difference between virgin and extra virgin? I think it's all extra virgin. There's plain olive oil that isn't extra virgin, but I'm not familiar with just a virgin. I think it's extra virgin or regular olive oil. Oh, thank you. Love my classes. Happy to hear that. All right. And I'm thinking you can see my screen again. Here we go. All right. So I have 8 minutes. So I'm going to talk about how to be more Mediterranean with your diet while we're waiting for this to cook in those 8 minutes. And once the salmon is cooked, it goes by really quick. Then we're just adding our rice, spinach, and olives, and it's done. So here are 8 steps to eat more Mediterranean. Number 1, eat more vegetables. Whatever you're doing, add more vegetables to it. So even if I'm choosing a pizza, that's not the most Mediterranean food, but you know what? Load it up with vegetables. If I'm choosing a burger, can I load it up with vegetables? Can I add a vegetable to my dinner? Maybe like a kebab or something. Think of ways to add vegetables. Can half of your plate come from your vegetables? Or try a meatless meal maybe one time a week. And that would really help to be more Mediterranean. Number 2, change the way you think about meat. America is mostly like, what's for dinner? Is it going to be beef, chicken, fish, a bean? Like we pick by our protein. So let's pick by our vegetable and have meat as an extender or a condiment or complementing the vegetables. So if I'm having a beef stew, let's say, half of what's on my plate is coming from those vegetables. If I'm having a stir fry, half of what's on my plate is coming from those vegetables. If I'm having a soup, I can load it up with vegetables. There's still meat in all of these places. Or a fajita, right? There's the pepper and the onions, and you get that wrap. So I'm loading it up with plant-based items, and the meat is there complementing, but it's not the star of the show. Enjoy a daily serving of yogurt or cheese. So in the Mediterranean, they do always have yogurt or cheese. It's usually as a dip. They do a lot of dipping, or it's a topping to dishes, but they never sit down and eat a block of cheese. That would never happen. It's a small amount, and it's to complement a vegetable or other food that they're eating. Number 4, include more whole grains. So we eat plenty of grains, but we're not getting enough whole grains. And whole grains are the one that have been shown to actually help control blood sugar. The fiber in it lowers cholesterol levels, blood sugar levels, etc. So ways to do that, maybe have a morning oatmeal that you add nuts and fruit to. The top left picture is a whole grain rice stuffed portobello mushroom, or you can stuff a potato. Think of ways to get it in, even if you wanted some chicken in there or some salmon in there, right? You can still add your meat, but include a whole grain. Whole grain toast, make that avocado toast in the morning, or feta cheese topped or egg topped, but get that whole grain toast in. Or it could be a whole grain pasta. There's my pasta dish. Choose what you love and find ways to get in better for you foods. Number 5, choose a better for you fat. So extra virgin olive oil, nuts, seeds, and by seeds like chia seed, flax seed, hemp hearts or hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, avocados, And in addition to that is the fat in fish like salmon, like we're doing today, or all the better for you fats. Up to 35% of your calories can come from fat. And that could be up to 77 grams if you eat 2,000 calories a day. So not not saying that's for everybody. Some should be lower, but if your fat is coming from a healthy fat, that is okay. Extra virgin olive oil in the Mediterranean diet is used for all your cooking, roasting, sautéing, baking. And I know sometimes there's things online that say, like, maybe don't use olive oil for those things, but like in every research, olive oil is good up to 450 degrees. So you can't fry in olive oil, it breaks down, but you can bake, roast, broil with it. All right, eat seafood twice a week. So we are making a seafood meal here. So we are already ahead of the game. And that's for brain, lung, heart health. You can enjoy tuna, herring, salmon, shellfish, or any other fish. Salmon's amazing because it's really rich in omega-3 fatty acids, as is mackerel and herring as well. Number 7 out of 8 for dessert, try fruit. And fruit doesn't have to be boring. Like you could eat it, like here's my blueberry or here's my strawberry. You can eat it alone. You can mix it up in a fruit salad, having lots of different ones. You can load different colors on a kebab. You can add other flavors to it. Like I love watermelon pizza, where I cover the top with a vanilla Greek yogurt and top berries or seasoning. On top of that is one of my favorite summer dishes. But find ways to love fruit. If you ask me one of my favorites in the winter, it would be dark chocolate hummus with strawberries. That is how I eat my fruit and love it. And then the last one, number 8, is to look for ways to be more active together. It's more than just good food. Mediterranean diet is a lifestyle. Bike, swim, dance, walk, golf, exercise. Do things to move your body, keep you healthy. And that is the end of the presentation. And now my salmon, let me see if we are done. I'm going to stop sharing right there. What is dark chocolate hummus? So if you go to our hummus case, my favorite one is made by Boar's Head. It's a dessert hummus. Um, dark chocolate is there. To me, it tastes like pudding, and it's definitely worth a try. Yep, walk every day. Good job. Oh, look at that. And there's my timer. So let me check on my salmon. And if it's not done, I think we're going to pretend it's done. Let me get it out. I have my little mitts. Do you ever have that happen where one of them just pops? I hate that. That's so annoying. Whew. All right. So then I'm going to take my rice bag. So it's jasmine rice. This is 90-second rice. You massage the bag just to break the rice up before you stick it in the microwave. So then you tear it just a little bit, like an inch, just to let the steam come out. 90 seconds in the microwave. So when that comes out, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a bowl. Here's my fresh spinach. It says to use half of this bag. I'm sorry, I hear my dog barking. I don't know if you can hear her, but yeah, somebody's outside. Take half of this bag, add it to the bowl. So That's about half the bag. It fills the bowl. But what's going to happen is when I put the warm rice in, you're going to see this condense as it wilts quickly. And then those Kalamata olives, the top I chopped. So I have those. Put some saran wrap on them. And that's my chopped olives. So I'm going to add the rice to this bowl, add my olives, mix it up until the spinach wilts. And then when the spinach wilts, I'm going to add in my salmon, and then we are good to go. So I put the hot rice in there. As you see, the spinach is already kind of wilting down. And it does take a minute for the spinach to get a little wilty, but it's doing that. Just gonna stir it up. Let's say I have like 3 minutes left of this class. So we're gonna call the spinach totally wilted, but it's getting there. Probably needs another minute of mixing. And then I'm gonna add my olives. And then to that, I'm gonna top it with my salmon. Just mix it one more time. Try and get all those leaves wilted. I feel like the bottom ones didn't wilt so great. Just the top ones did. And that is our salmon bowl. Ah, looks delish. Yes, well, thank you so much for joining me today on this inaugural MLK snow day. So happy that you're here. The dog wants some. Absolutely. Yep. I think somebody's shoveling outside and she hears it. But yes, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Love that you're here. Yes, thanks. Enjoy lunch. Bye.